people think every medical checkup after 70 is helpful. But here's the truth. Some of these tests can actually do more harm than good. Which ones to watch out for? You might be putting your health at risk without realizing it. In this video, show you the overlooked side of common checkups, why they may carry hidden risks, and how you can protect yourself with safer, smarter choices. Isn't to scare you, it's to give you clarity, confidence, and control over your health. So stay with me until the end. I'll also share the daily steps you can take right now to stay strong, mobile, and healthy as you age. This is about working with your body, not against it. People over the age of 70 are told that routine medical checkups are the key to staying healthy. The idea seems simple: catch a problem early, treat it, and stay ahead of disease. But here's the hidden problem. Once you reach this stage of life, your body is no longer the same as it was in your 50s or even your 60s. The way you metabolize medications changes, your immune system responds differently. Stressors like fasting before a test or exposure to contrast dyes can create bigger consequences. Once a preventive measure can sometimes become a hidden source of harm. The biggest issue is that many tests were designed with younger adults in mind whose bodies have different needs. A scan, a blood draw, or a stress test may sound harmless. Procedures place demands on organs that are not as resilient as they used to be. Kidneys, for example, may have trouble filtering out dyes used in imaging, not handle the sudden exertion of a treadmill test the way it once did. Even the psychological impact of certain screenings, like false positives, can create unnecessary anxiety that spirals into more medication, more testing, and more risks. That checkups are bad. The problem is the one-size-fits-all approach. At 70 or older, healthcare should be more personalized, but too often, it follows the same pattern given to people decades younger. That mismatch between the test and the person can lead to complications that no one talks about. In expecting reassurance but come out with confusion, fear, and sometimes unnecessary prescriptions or procedures. This cycle not only puts more strain on the body, but also chips away at confidence in one's health. Another overlooked problem is overdiagnosis. Some medical checkups pick up conditions that are technically abnormal, but may never actually affect a person's quality of life. Feel obligated to treat these findings aggressively, seniors can end up facing interventions that carry more risks than benefits. For example, slow-growing issue that would never impact daily living may still trigger rounds of treatment that weaken the body. This creates a situation where the checkup does not extend life or improve health. It does the opposite. Financial stress also plays a role. Fixed incomes and each test, follow-up, or new prescription adds more costs. The pressure to comply with every recommended checkup can cause financial strain, which in itself becomes a health burden. Stress over money can raise blood pressure, disturb sleep, and worsen conditions like diabetes. So the hidden problem isn't just physical, it's emotional and financial as well. Makes this issue even more pressing is how invisible it is. Very few people question the safety of routine checkups because they are presented as standard care. Seniors are rarely told that a checkup can be optional, but it can be delayed, or that there may be safer alternatives. Instead, the cultural pressure is to follow medical advice without hesitation. Yet, health comes from informed decisions, and that starts with knowing the risks as well as the benefits. Ultimately, the hidden problem is not the checkups themselves, but the lack of awareness. Seniors are encouraged to prioritize prevention but are rarely given the tools to understand whether a specific test is truly necessary for them. Without that knowledge, may expose themselves to harm in the name of safety. The truth is that prevention at this stage of life should look different, supporting the body's natural strengths, avoiding unnecessary stress, and focusing on what genuinely improves quality of life. By uncovering this problem, path forward becomes clearer. Seniors can ask better questions, doctors can provide more tailored guidance, and the health system can move away from a blanket approach. Isn't to avoid checkups entirely, it's to make them smarter, safer, and aligned with the unique needs of the aging body. Once this shift happens, Seniors no longer like passive patients but active participants in their health. That change alone can be just as powerful as any medical test. At first glance, it may seem like medical checkups are a routine part of life that can be done without much thought. But after the age of 70, around your health carries more weight, and that's why this conversation matters now more than ever. The body has changed, so has the balance between risk and reward. What might have been harmless or even beneficial a few decades earlier may now bring unintended consequences. This shift is subtle, and because it happens gradually, it is easy to miss until complications arise. Recognizing why it matters now can be the difference between thriving in later years and quietly accumulating risks that could have been avoided. Reasons this matters now is the reality of time. At this stage of life, energy, resilience, and healing capacity are more limited. Is still capable of repair, recovery often takes longer. A minor complication from a test or an unnecessary procedure may not seem significant to a younger person, but for someone in their 70s or beyond, or months of disruption to daily life, what was once a small setback can now spiral into bigger issues, making careful choices more important than ever. Another reason it matters is the way modern medicine tends to focus on detection rather than quality of life. Many screenings are designed to catch even the smallest signs of disease, but not all findings require treatment, especially in older adults. Without considering the unique context of aging, a well-meaning checkup can set off a chain reaction of follow-up tests, prescriptions, procedures that may bring more harm than benefit. This matters now because seniors deserve to enjoy their later years without being burdened by unnecessary medical interventions that diminish their vitality and independence. Side cannot be ignored either. Anxiety, stress, and fear are often underestimated in their impact on health. Imagine going in for a routine checkup, expecting reassurance, only to be told there's a suspicious finding. Even if it turns out to be harmless, the stress in the meantime can disrupt sleep, raise blood pressure, and weaken the immune system. For someone already managing chronic conditions, this added emotional weight can make daily life harder. This is why awareness matters. Now it empowers seniors to weigh not only the physical risks but also the emotional costs of over-testing. Concerns also highlight why this matters in the present moment. Seniors often live with tighter budgets and repeated checkups, specialist visits. Prescriptions can create a financial burden that slowly drains security and peace of mind. Money spent on unnecessary tests could instead be used for healthier food, physical activities, or supportive therapies that bring real improvements to daily living. With healthcare costs rising, selective and intentional about medical care is more relevant than ever. It also matters because of the importance of independence. After 70, maintaining mobility, clarity of mind, and the ability to live without constant medical interference is priceless. Necessary checkups create complications or lead to treatments that sap energy. Independence is the first thing to suffer. Full about what is truly needed, seniors can protect not just their health but also their freedom to live on their own terms. Finally, now because this stage of life is meant to be lived fully, these are the years when many people want to travel, spend more time with family, enjoy hobbies, and reflect on life with peace rather than worry. If health decisions are made without awareness, precious time can be lost to hospital visits, waiting rooms, and recoveries from procedures that may not have been essential. Recognizing the importance of selective, intentional care means creating more room for joy, vitality, meaningful experiences. Why it matters now comes down to this: life after 70 is valuable, and every decision has the power to either enhance or limit that value. Being informed, asking the right questions, truly serve well. Being ensures that seniors can focus less on unnecessary medical concerns and more on living with strength and purpose. The urgency is real, not because of fear, but because of the opportunity to live better today, not someday in the future. When it comes to health, most of us are taught that more testing is always better. After all, catching problems early is supposed to save lives. But after the age of 70, every medical checkup provides the same benefits it once did. In fact, some screenings can bring more harm than good if they aren't carefully considered in the bigger picture of aging. This isn't about ignoring health or skipping important care. It's about rethinking which tests actually improve quality of life and which ones may lead to stress, complications, or unnecessary treatments. One checkup to rethink is the routine full body scan. These imaging tests may sound appealing because they promise a comprehensive look inside the body, but the truth is, they often reveal small findings that never would have caused problems. Once these are discovered, though, they frequently lead to further tests, biopsies, or even surgeries that carry risks far greater than the original harmless spot. For seniors whose bodies heal more slowly, extra procedures can create long recovery times and unnecessary stress. Instead of chasing every shadow on a scan, it's often wiser to focus on tests that directly relate to current symptoms or risk factors. Another one is repeated colonoscopies. Colon cancer screening is important earlier in life. The risk to benefit ratio shifts significantly after 70. The preparation itself can be exhausting, and the procedure carries risks like bleeding or perforation. For someone in their 70s or 80s, especially with no new digestive symptoms and no concerning family history, the potential harms may outweigh the benefits. Less invasive options like stool tests sometimes offer enough information without putting the body under unnecessary strain. Mammograms are also worth rethinking past a certain age. Cancer screening can still detect issues, but it's essential to ask, will finding something small at this stage improve longevity or quality of life? Older women are diagnosed with slow, growing cancers that would never become life-threatening. Yet once detected, they often face surgery, radiation, medication that drains energy and diminishes daily comfort. Instead of automatic screening, the decision should be individualized based on health status, personal history, wishes to live the years ahead. Bone density scans are another common test that needs a second look. Osteoporosis is real. Fractures can be devastating for seniors. But the question is, does repeating these scans year after year actually change the plan? Often, prescribe bone strengthening medications after a certain result, but many of these drugs come with significant side effects, including digestive issues, joint pain, bone problems. Instead of relying solely on scans, seniors can focus on proven strategies like strength training, vitamin D, and balance exercises more to protect against fractures than the scan itself. Finally, heart stress tests deserve careful thought. These are often given to older adults to look for hidden heart problems even when no symptoms exist. The issue is that they can produce false positives, angiograms, or stents that may not truly extend life expectancy in someone without active symptoms. For seniors, invasive heart procedures can carry risks like bleeding, kidney problems, or stroke. It's far more effective to pay attention to lifestyle, nutrition, walking, stress reduction, and sleep than to chase down heart tests when there's no pressing concern. Rethinking these 5 checkups isn't about avoiding medical care. Putting quality of life, safety, and independence at the center of the conversation. Every test has the potential to bring clarity, but it also has the potential to bring complications. For seniors, the goal is not simply to live longer but to live better, free of unnecessary fear, hospital stays, interventions that don't add real value. By asking the right questions and considering alternatives, can make health decisions that honor their bodies and their time, focusing energy on what truly matters, enjoying life with vitality and purpose. Smarter choices for seniors are not about doing more, but about doing what matters most. Health after 70 should not be a race to fit in every test, pill, procedure offered. It should be a careful balance between prevention, comfort, and independence. Fall into the trap of thinking that saying yes to every scan or medication is the safest path. But the truth is, smarter choices come from slowing down, right questions, and focusing on strategies that provide the most benefit with the least risk. This doesn't mean ignoring health. It means prioritizing wisely so the years ahead are not filled with unnecessary worry or recovery from procedures that never needed to happen in the first place. A smarter choice is to make every test individualized. Instead of accepting routine schedules that apply to everyone, seniors can work with their doctors to decide whether a checkup makes sense for their specific situation. For example, someone who is active, eats well, family history of a condition, may not benefit from repeated screenings. On the other hand, if there are strong warning signs, targeted tests can provide valuable information. Always yes or always no, but let's see if this really benefits me. This approach protects energy and reduces stress while still keeping health a priority. Another smart choice is to shift focus from endless testing to lifestyle foundations. While tests can sometimes find problems, the daily habits of eating nutritious foods, reducing stress, and sleeping well do far more to maintain health over time. Seniors often discover that a simple walking routine, strength training with light weights, or adding nutrient-rich foods has a greater impact than any scan or procedure. These actions strengthen muscles, protect bones, blood sugar, and improve mood. The smarter choice is to invest in habits that build resilience instead of chasing down every possible problem that may or may not exist. A smarter choice is to think carefully about medications. Polypharmacy, taking multiple prescriptions, is common among seniors, creates more problems than it solves. Side effects from one drug can lead to another prescription, creating a chain reaction that leaves people feeling worse instead of better. A wise step is to review medications regularly with a healthcare professional and ask, "I still need this. Could lifestyle changes reduce the need for it?" In many cases, simplifying medications improves energy, clarity, and independence. The smarter choice is not to rely on more pills, but to look for ways to support the body naturally whenever safe and possible. Smarter choices also include emotional well-being. Seniors who prioritize social connections, creative hobbies, and mental engagement often enjoy better health outcomes than those who spend years in medical waiting rooms. And stress can harm the body as much as physical illness. Choosing to spend time with loved ones, learn something new, enjoy nature can add years of quality life without any side effects. This type of choice is often overlooked, but of the most powerful health strategies available. Finally, the smartest choice of all is to focus on quality over quantity. 100 may be appealing, but only if those years are spent in strength and clarity, not in hospitals and endless procedures. Seniors who learn to say no to unnecessary checkups, yes to meaningful lifestyle changes, yes to activities that bring joy often find themselves not just living longer, but living better. Every choice made at this stage should answer one question: this helped me stay strong, independent, and happy. Smarter choices are about alignment, aligning health decisions with personal values, desired lifestyle, benefits. By shifting the focus away from doing everything and toward doing what truly matters, seniors can protect their energy, safeguard their independence, their later years with confidence and peace of mind. It's not about giving up care, but about choosing wisely so that every step taken contributes to a healthier and more enjoyable life. Putting it into practice means taking the wisdom of balanced choices and turning it into daily habits that truly support health and independence. Smarter is only half the journey, the other half is learning how to live it in small, consistent steps. For seniors, this often begins with slowing down the flood of outside advice and focusing on what matters most to them personally. Each decision, from whether to schedule a checkup to what to eat for breakfast, becomes an opportunity to align healthcare with quality of life. The power lies in choosing actions that give energy back instead of draining it away. The first step is building a routine of questions that guide every health choice. Before agreeing to a test, a new prescription, or a recommended procedure, ask, will this change my outcome in a meaningful way? Does this align with my current health and priorities? What are the risks, and are they worth the potential benefits? Questions down and keeping them handy for doctor's visits makes it easier to feel confident when deciding. Over time, Practice creates a mindset of active participation rather than passive acceptance, and that alone protects seniors from unnecessary interventions. The second step is to build a rhythm of lifestyle habits that are simple and repeatable. Small things done daily matter far more than occasional big efforts. For instance, walking for 15 minutes every morning, stretching before bed, like a protein-rich breakfast, consistently will create a stronger body than relying on occasional health campaigns or chasing the latest trend. Seniors can think of these habits as anchors, steady practices that keep the body grounded and resilient. Even when life gets stressful, these anchors ensure the basics are never neglected. Another practical step is simplifying the environment. This means making health supporting choices the easiest options available. Keeping fresh fruits on the counter instead of sugary snacks, walking shoes by the door, or setting reminders to drink water throughout the day all make it effortless to stay on track. When the healthy choice becomes the default, less willpower is needed and habits take root more naturally. Often find that arranging their environment for success leads to fewer slips and greater consistency. It also helps to build a circle of accountability and support. Seeing smarter choices does not have to be a lonely journey. Sharing goals with a spouse, friend, or group adds encouragement and keeps momentum strong. Walking with a neighbor, cooking healthy meals with family, local fitness class, not only builds health, but also nourishes the emotional and social side of well-being. These connections protect against loneliness and stress while reinforcing healthy behaviors. Another way to put these ideas into practice is to track progress in simple. Instead of only focusing on weight or blood pressure, seniors can track energy levels, sleep quality, or how easy it feels to get up from a chair. These functional markers often matter more to daily life and provide motivation to keep going. A small notebook or even a wall calendar with check marks can serve as a powerful visual reminder of consistency and progress. Finally, practice means patience. Transform overnight. And smarter choices are not about quick fixes, but about steady improvements that last. Focusing on what can be done today, taking a walk, choosing a nourishing meal, saying no to an unnecessary procedure, seniors gradually build a healthier foundation. Over weeks and months, these small actions add up to noticeable strength, clarity, and confidence. Putting it into practice is about turning intention into action and action into lasting change. It's about simplifying choices, focusing on what truly matters, supporting decisions part of everyday life. For seniors, this is the key to moving forward with less stress, more strength, and a deeper sense of control. Consistent choices that align with their goals, not just longer but better, every single day becoming proof that smarter living leads to stronger living.